For a very long time, humans have been trying to understand and harness the energy of the sun. In ancient times, the Greeks used to light the Olympic flame by concentrating the energy of the sun through a series of mirrors. In 1747, Georges-Louis de Buffon used that same method to melt a piece of silver. Antoine Lavoisier even managed to build a solar oven that reached a temperature of 1,800 degrees Celsius. All these examples use the thermal energy emitted by the sun, i.e. its heat. In 1839, Antoine and Edmond Becquerel discovered the possibility of transforming light into electricity, what is known as photovoltaic energy. In 1883, the American inventor Charles Fritz made the first functioning photovoltaic cells, but the materials his invention required, such as gold, were expensive, and his photovoltaic cells did not produce very much electricity. The project was abandoned due to lack of commercial interest. In the 20th century, the technology flourished with the discovery of new materials that improved the performance of cells for use in space. The first practical applications were in satellites. Satellites in orbit can hardly be plugged into a power outlet, so they must have their own source of energy. That is where the sun comes to their aid. On Earth, in remote regions of the world where the electricity grid is not very developed, that technology is being used to harness solar power and meet the energy needs of the people who live there. How do photovoltaic cells work? When particles of sunlight, i.e. photons, strike the atoms of the photovoltaic cell, they set the electrons in motion. By sending all the electrons moving in the same direction, this generates a continuous electric current. The more sunlight shines on the cell, the more electrical power it produces, but the cell only works during the hours of sunlight and when the sun is not hidden by clouds. This is called intermittent energy. What is the benefit of solar power? Solar power makes it possible to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. It is those gases that cause global warming. And it is renewable energy, which means it will never run out. So, what if I used solar power too?